All right, welcome back. Let's talk to the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, Mr. Moshood Jimoh, joins us right here in our Lagos studio. CP, good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning, Nigerians.
Well, we wish we had seen you under different circumstances, but you are a CP, so whatever situation and circumstance is okay by us. But let's begin with piggyback on what played out yesterday right here. And this has been something that has happened over the few months now. I'm talking about the issue of Alabi Quadri. And when that incident happened in court and he was discharged by the courts, and then eventually we had an invitation extended to his lawyer and himself. And when they got here, we began to probe some questions. And one of the things they showed to us, which I would like you to speak to, which is what made a lot of Nigerians angry with the police in that sense, that was the beginning, was the age of the boy. His lawyer showed us a document showing that he was born, I think, 29th of September, 2007. At least I know it's September. So technically he's not 18 yet, till September this year. So, but in responding to perhaps the lawyer and what played out in court, the police had said in their headline, replying what had happened, chronicling the event to say he's 18 years. So let's clarify that first. We have the record from the lawyer saying he's 18. From your books, how did you, he's 17 rather, he's not up to 18. How did you get the information to say that the boy is 18 years old?
Thank you so much. I want to, first of all, start saying I appreciated Channel Televisions and this program for giving me the opportunity to come and say my own side of the story, and that of, by extension, but that of the Lagos State Police Command. First of all, you are calling me out, and I say, okay, fine. As a commissioner of police that have the responsibility to serve the public in whatsoever medium that are being called out is fine. And that is to ensure that the police are approachable at every level and every angle.
I will just commend you for that.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. So now to go into the questions, nothing is an offense under the law except what the law stated to be an offense. And the law stating the offense will say the procedures for which an offender should be handled, whether a minor, whether a juvenile, whether a young person, whether an adult. Is the procedural processes that differs. And now, if a minor commits an offense, there are processes for which such a minor should be handled. If you look at people that rob us in traffic, that rob people, innocent people on traffic, they are people of this age. The people that engage in gangsterism and cultism and start killing people are equally of this age. Except you are a victim of crime before you get to know what I'm trying to say. Even the fear of these young lads going around that they are minor is devastating for residents. But we will not say because of that we go beyond the law to do what is improper. No. We ensure that we train the mind and the capacity of our officers to be able to ensure that they follow the dictates of the law and they are not emotional. We have procedures. We have a case file where everybody alleged of an offense will make statement. And in the statement form, it was the boy himself that said he's 18, and it was recorded. Because I've been to a police station before while going around, and I still went there yesterday to check the entry they have. So, and if you say you are 18, and possibly somebody is saying you are above 17, but not still 18. But for everybody, if you are in the 18th year, you go from 0 to 17, and you are above 17 going to 18, and you tell a policeman that you are 18, you'll be treated as such. So what we have in our record in the statement form that he failed, that Quadri failed, is 18 years. And it's on the basis of that we proceed with the investigation into the matter. So that is suffice to say that we have record to buttress our action. Then in the actual sense, even if somebody is below 18, that does not mean that we shouldn't investigate the person properly in accordance with the laid-down law and ensure that some person is prosecuted. Police action terminate where matter are taken to court. The lawyer here yesterday, with respect to him, was saying that the DPP. For us, we have not seen the DPP advice. We don't know whether he was directed to be granted bail, whether he was acquainted or whether he was discharged. Because Thursday, that was out of court, was a work day. Then on Friday was a public holiday. So we are going to equally verify all those things to know what is equally in the DPP advice by today. So essentially, to answer that part of the question, because I know there are a lot of questions that will be coming from you, is that the record we have is that the boy stated that he's 18. And the best person to tell you the actual age of a person if is deep root is the parent, not birth certificate that the lawyer is parading. It should be investigated because birth certificates are not issued inside phone. We all know how birth certificates are issued. Even if it's affidavit of declaration of age, it's usually not issued inside phone. And nowadays, because of the AI, another infrastructure that is in
but
technology.
CP, I'm sure you presented
I think you allow me to finish this. That's the technology. Anything can be doctored. So we need to see
sorry, I do not intend to cut you. My sincere apologies. They went to court and presented documents before a court of competent jurisdiction. So I'm presuming that this document that you say has to be verified was presented before the court. Wasn't it presented before the court?
Myself and yourself were not in court.
Your lawyers were in court, weren't they?
No. Myself and yourself, we aren't in court.
No, it's a simple question. Was the police in court?
That is what I'm telling you, that we need to verify that. Because it's happened on Thursday.
I'm sorry, CP, you've not answered my question. The judge has discharged the boy. Is that a fact?
Let me take you back. In the matter, trial has not been opened into the matter. The procedural, the remand procedural processes is what we went to court for. And the court saw reason with us from the statement of the boy as 18 years. And it was remanded to custodian's facility. And the matter is supposed to come up and open up for trial. So whatsoever that transpired there, the court may, in its wisdom, invite us and may not invite us. So it is when we find out those that we now know whether we are joining the matter or not. But to round up what I'm saying earlier on, the fact about age is clearly by the parent. And it's not something that it was me and you were not in court to be able to verify whether those documents were tendered. But
isn't it the police that is leading the prosecution for the trial of this boy?
And that's why I'm saying that the prosecution of the case has not been open. When you start arraignment in court, the suspect will be brought to court, who nowadays is a defendant, will be brought to court, and is going to take his plea. So that has not happened.
So on Thursday, there was no representation for the police in court?
The court has not opened prosecution into the matter. It's because we want to remind the person in custody to be able to go properly into the investigation of the matter.
So the only
because the offense are capital in nature, and that is why the advice of the DPP was sought in that regard.
So the only legal representation in court on Thursday was for the boy? There was no legal representation for the police?
We were not invited.
You were not invited?
Yes.
Now, because of the circumstances surrounding the case as it has emerged yesterday following that conversation with the boy and his lawyer, one is one to ask if the boy was under duress when he presented himself to be 18 years old in his statement, because we've heard that time and again in police cases where statements are given under duress.
When you talk about giving statement under duress, I think the issue of what is your name cannot be under duress. And what is your age cannot be under duress. What is your, where do you live cannot be under duress. So those clearly being under duress or not is clearly out of it in stating what is your age and what are your biological history, or possibly what are your social history, and it has to do with the investigation. So what we have in the statement of the board is 18 years, and it is on the basis of that those press releases emanating from us were issued. And I want to make bold to say clearly that the lawyer, you have to put pen on paper because it's all lawyer that is saying whatever is saying on the television, which are complete falsehood. If you have any good case against us or against the DPO that you've been calling out, you put pen on paper. When you put pen on paper, and so far, this is what you have found out, all your allegations. Then we investigate it. The Nigerian police force and its officers are subject to the public service rule. And the public service rule clearly stated what are misconduct and serious misconduct, which should be investigated before an officer is dealt with in an appropriate way. But when you now mix politics with crime, then it's quite clear that you have an ulterior motive. I won't want to mention any name, because from the beginning of the program, I watch it, is mentioning a presidential candidate. Do you want to tell me that if somebody is prominent with one presidential candidate or the other, or even as a police officer, if I'm prominent with the media, if I do any wrongdoing, I shouldn't be called to answer? You should be called to answer. So when you now turn it, because when the boy was eventually, whatsoever the DPP advised, you've not seen it, when he was asked to go, and the lawyer took him to that presidential candidate first. So the issue of crime is different. The issue of political partisanship is equally different. So you don't mix the two up, because we are not politicians, and we don't engage in politics.
OCP, that's understandable, but he also brought him here. So it's not as though we are partisan ourselves. I imagine it's as a result of an invite or the groundswell support and all of that. But back to the issues, because we're not mixing politics with it. We're just speaking to the merit of this. As much as this is about Quadri, this is also about the police itself, about the procedures, to ensure that whether it's Quadri today or me tomorrow or you tomorrow, there is that laid-down procedure that is followed, and we want to ensure that it is standard, global standard. So I find it curious, one, that it is whatever the person says about their age that you take, because there is the NIN, for example. There are documents that you can ask for to really back whether or not you are this age, what your real name is. I mean, we have database, so I'll be surprised if the police does not ask for your ID to a large extent, maybe your NIN, something that just shows who you really are. Instead, they rely on just a statement, because they could have said, I'm 70 years old, and the police will say, well, since you say you're 70, that's what you are. You could have said, my name is John, and the police will say, well, since you say you're John, that's who you are. But I want to imagine that's not how it works. But let's go back to the procedure now. It is said that Quadri was taken into custody, was handed over to the police, and I want you to walk us through what the truth is, was handed over to the police by people who conspired with the police to basically detain him, because he said he didn't give them a share of the money that his mom received, when his picture went viral. One. Two, he was detained for a week without a court order, and that's against what you described as the law. The law says this should be the procedure. So I want you to speak to that. How come he was detained for a week without a court procedure? In fact, being a minor, I mean, that's against what the law says, CP. So what exactly happened?
No, thank you so much. You've loaded your questions about 3 or 4 in. So let me start from the last one. We have responsibility to investigate every matter of crime. And we equally have responsibility to ensure that we follow the laid-down procedure in our investigation, to ensure that even if you are accused of a crime, or where there are even clear evidence, prima facie case, that you don't stay beyond what the Constitution says, the enabling law say you should stay in the police custody. What he's saying, like I said, is a subject of drawing attention to it. This is what I've observed. But when you bring it in the media issues, engage in media trial, and you've not brought it to attention, we will not know. But that, I'm not saying that is detained beyond reasonable time. The law permits us to detain between 24 to 48 hours, depending on the closeness of the court of competent jurisdiction to where such a person is detained. So it is expected that investigation is supposed to have started before even you apprehend the offender. So the issue of detention beyond reasonable doubt is not the issue. Is an issue.
But let's establish that detaining for a week is wrong.
It's wrong, but in this case, we have to investigate what has actually transpired.
Is there any...
Because I check, I think it's better for you to allow me to explain.
Absolutely.
I checked the record. I've not seen where in the record of lockup register that I checked yesterday, it was brought in a day before it was taken to to court.
That's what the register says.
So, but if the lawyer has a contrary opinion from the hearsay that you have been hearing from people that this boy has been in detention beyond reasonable time, you should make it equally available to me. Then I will investigate.
No, this is from the boy himself.
No, I get what I'm trying. I get what I'm trying to say. That is from the media. They should put it into paper and bring it before.
No, that's from the boy who
I get what I'm saying it on the media.
Oh, you're saying that the boy said it on. Okay, but I just want to establish it's from the boy. Okay.
Yes, he has a lawyer who I believe is very competent. He should equally put it to paper.
But let's establish
it, and we investigate it. But the police have no right to detain you between more than 24 to 48 hours.
Fantastic.
For which offense, because investigation is supposed to have commenced before then. So, but when we get deep into the investigation, we make the outcome of our investigation.
No, and I like that. But are you also investigating?
And in addition, yes. Yeah. In addition, I've set up a team of a committee to investigate the matter with Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of criminal investigation, which is clearly out of the whole, is part of it. The Deputy Commissioner of Police Operation and Admin are there, and 3 other Assistant Deputy Commissioner of Police to look holistically what are the infraction and what the police have done in the process that may constitute a wrongdoing. Because if we don't establish that, that's the question you are going to, we won't be able to take any action. And that is why it is important for the lawyer to know that once you have any complaint of inaction or wrongdoing, or action that you feel violates people's rights, you bring it to the attention of the police. Because if you don't bring it to the attention to the police, you are just saying it all around. But that does not mean we shouldn't pay attention to what comes out of the media, because the media is our mirror. Whatever comes out of the media, or even is bashing, we take it the way it is, because we are subject to public opinion. And for an organization like the Nigerian Police Force that is subject to public opinion, we have to ensure that anything that comes into public space, we look at it and we investigate and be able to get back to the public and let the public know that this is what we have done. Mind you, this incident happened around January. Yeah. I've not taken over then. But I wouldn't tell anybody and say, look, I was not on seat then.
So technically, even you CP, you don't have the full information?
No, I have the full information because the office of the Commissioner of Police of Lagos State was not locked and keyed. The office was open for me. So, and I have responsibility to take care of whatsoever that even must have happened so many years before. Now we are under restriction of not parading suspect, and not only parading suspect, equally mentioning their name, because somebody had just been repatriated back to us recently. It doesn't happen when I was there, but I take full responsibility. So that's what I'm trying to say, that I take full responsibility of everything that happened in my command, and to be able to come to the public and let the public know the truth.
All right, CP, the part of the question where he was handed over to the police by criminal elements in his area, or area boys in that sense, you have not spoken to it. How was Quadri arrested?
Thank you so much. He mentioned it, and I was going to it before your question came in. Every private person have the right to arrest and hand over to the police. But in this case, from the entry that I've inspected, it was the DPO that received a distress call of people damaging public properties and attacking people and seizing their phone. And it was on the basis of that I intervened. He made the arrest. And it's not only Quadri that was arrested. There were 5 others that were arrested at the same time.
By the DPO?
Yes, by the DPO.
Himself?
Yes, inside. That's the entry we have. So that's what I keep on saying, that. And the person that is making the entry is a different person entirely. We have who we call the CRO, the charge room officers. When any matter comes before the station, you make the entry. And we equally have the IPO. So the DPO cannot on his own assume the responsibility of all these officers that have been designated to undo matters like that. So that is the entry in the book. And as at the time the press, because it was part of essentially talking about the press release emanating from the command, as at that point in time, those are the facts and figure we have at our disposal. If he has come up and said, oh, I have a different what do you call it, information, then we'll subject it to investigation. And it is to be inappropriate to call public spirited individuals that want their area to be sanitized or crime to be called criminal. Nobody should be pronounced criminal. Even the police, we cannot pronounce anybody criminal except the court of law that maybe a convict. So In this regard,
that is what they reported. That is area boys.
When you say area boys, what is the designation of area boys? Are they people walking around?
Area boys could be area boys.
Could be area boys. So people that rob individuals, like I said earlier, in traffic, who are they? Are they not people of minor? So, like I'm saying, essentially, this matter, I've set up an investigation team to look properly at the pro and con and look at the area. But the lawyer should do us good by putting whatsoever he has said everywhere on paper and send it across to me. I don't need to see him.
Are you going to re-prosecute the boy? Are you going to re-arrest him? What exactly is the next step? Because the lawyer says it's coming for you and your command for detaining for detaining a minor, subjecting him to prison, and all of the things that has happened in between. So he's asking for compensation, he's asking for the DPO to be tried, and all of that. So that is his position. What is the position of the police?
Thank you so much. I think if he has gone to court to file court processes against us, we have not been served, then it would be wrong for him to engage in media trial. If you know you have gotten to court and you have your trust in the court capacity to be able to deliver justice in the matter, I think it's a prejudice to steal the matter you have taken to court, to see come on national television to be talking about it. You will have allowed the court processes to be exhausted before you now begin to say what you are saying. Then on the issue of Quadri, as is said, minor. When you talk of minor that in the statutes is below from the age of 0 to 1 to less than 18, then that doesn't mean if a minor commits a crime, either alone or in conspiracy with others, that investigation should not be carried out. It is only the processes that should be followed will be different. One, if a minor commits a crime with another person, maybe you leave your car glasses wind down, and an adult cannot penetrate it, and you brought up a minor into the car to get your thing stolen, then they will be prosecuted together.
No, but
I'm coming. Let me finish.
Sorry, because of time.
I'll get to
you haven't answered my question. My question is, because now, whatever question we ask, you always refer to the court. In one breath, you are talking about legal procedure. On another breath, you seem, in my view, to be holding a position as well. So I want you to be clear on your own position. And my direct question to you, so that you're clear. Now that the judge is taking the boy to court, the court has discharged, and all the thing is asked for. Are you rearresting? Are you following this case again? Are you leaving this case so that my colleague can ask a question?
Thank you so much. When you say discharge, the DPP advised that said the boy should be released. We don't know whether the boy, the court have said the boy is acquitted or the boy is to be on bail. Until when we study that, before we know where we proceed. But being a minor in the matter does not mean that they shouldn't go to the process. It's just the procedure, because we have the remedial system. If a minor is convicted of an offense, you go through the remedial system, that you shouldn't be subject to the punishment until when he gets to the age where the punishment can be administered on him. But I want us to clear it very well. You said the boy will be 18 in September.
From the official record?
From what you have on your phone, not what you have seen as what they call it is transparent and physical.
So you just have a statement written by who is a semi-literate?
Yes.
Bukola?
No. What of thousands and millions of Nigerians that cannot read and write? They are there. Don't they commit crime? Don't police investigate them? So it's not an issue of being semi-literate. What I'm trying to say is that the position of the law will be followed in all ramifications. I will be transparent about it to get the public informed of what we have done. But the minor is categorized. Between the age of 1 and 7, after 7 years, you have criminal liability. And the way you should be handled should be different. Between the age of 7 and 12, we call it criminal liability.
But even if you have criminal liability, anyone who is under 18 remains, underage. And should they be categorized in the same correctional facility as those who are adults? And that was one of the issues that the lawyer brought to the fore yesterday. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, the lawyer also spoke to, and I believe Quadri also spoke to, how he was arrested, that he was coming back from work. You say the DPO himself arrested him, but Quadri said he was nabbed by those who had been persecuting him and asking for their own share of the money. And he was handed over to the police by those people. So I'm wondering if they gave you correct information that indeed it was the DPO that arrested him himself. Those two issues. And finally, I'd like you to speak to the DPP's advice that Quadri has no case to answer. If you study and you find that indeed that is correct, will the police apologize to Quadri and his family for the experience that he has been put through?
Thank you so much. Whosoever asserts will prove. The lawyer will be making a lot of assertion here and there. If he asserts anything, he should prove it. But he has not been able to come forward to be able to give us all those submissions. Then the DPP advice that you are equally talking about, we have not cited it. I've not seen it for one. And I'm entitled to be copied. So maybe before close of work today, they'll send it to me, then we'll now know what we are going to do.
But would you apologize?
Why will I apologize when the process of investigation set up by my department have not been exhausted to give me the report for what has transpired? So the police, we are doing everything to ensure that every Nigerian stays safe across the country. And where there are infractions, we want people to come up to us. We don't hide people that engage in wrongdoing or people that go out of their way to violate the procedures for which an offender should be prosecuted and tried. So, and that is the discretion of the court to issue an order in the view of the court for what has been presented before the court.
All right. Well, CP, as we wind down, you have a job of work to do in Lagos. We're going to talk about Lagos proper because we know that you're settling down and trying to get a handle of it. So we'll still have a proper conversation about Lagos. But we just wanted to speak to this because it points to a deeper issue. One, CP, we need to ensure that as a primary investigator, the investigation agency, the police, is not relying on someone's statement. You just say, oh, because you say you're 18, that means you're 18. The police has a lot of resources at its disposal. They can check his, I imagine, biometrics. They can check his name, see his name register, and let them go deeper and not realize, oh, we don't have this back and forth. He's 18, no, he's a minor. That's on the one hand. Also, the confessional statement he made. You know, global best practices. His lawyer should either be present or it should be done on video. I don't know if that was done in Quadri's case. Again, that's global best standards. And we're saying this so the police can, I'm sure you know these things. Finally, from the records, what crime specifically was Quadri arrested on? Allegations of crime. Was he arrested on?
Thank you so much. I think the press release emanating from my office is very explicit about the act and what they have been arrested for. And to go to your matter, you know, when we arrest people, we don't persecute people, we do proper investigation. If you say your age is 18, and at that point in time, it's not a controversy. It's not an issue for us to now begin to say. It is now that we now begin to say, oh, since it has generated issues, that we now go say, where's the biometric, where's your name, where's your other thing, and to be able to put it in public space.
But was a lawyer present? Was it done on video? So that we don't have this back and forth.
No.
Was it done on video? Was lawyer present?
In the new Administration of Criminal Justice Act, it is expected that we should do video when somebody make a confessional statement. But you know the situation we have in Nigeria, even that across, you may not even see where there's network to be able to get that. No, I think you raised some vital and important issues. So like I'm saying, those are the expectations, and we are doing our best to ensure that we carry the expectations.
They can use their mobile phone.
No, but it's you that are using the mobile phone. Like I spoke to you earlier, we have a 14-year-old girl.
No, I'm saying the police can use a mobile phone to report.
No, let me give you an example. We have a 14-year-old girl now in Panti that stabs a 59-year-old woman who is the grandmother to death. And we have everything recorded there on mobile phone. But because this matter you are talking about now is because before the court has taken out to court. So I have limitation to what I can tell you as per what you are saying, so that it doesn't become a contempt of court. But that is the procedure, and we are following it.
There's no contempt of court. If you did not record the boy or a lawyer was not there, they were not there. At that point, police dropped the ball.
No, the lawyer...
It's a phone.
No.
It's a phone.
The lawyer can be there. Are you getting me?
And he was not there.
Listen,
there was no lawyer. There was no
this lawyer came up later. But as at the time you are arrested, if you are cautioned that you are not under obligation to say anything, But anything you say will be taken down in writing. I'll be giving evidence against you. If you now insist that you're not going to say anything until when your lawyer comes, we'll still uplat you. And we'll put it down. Even if your lawyer comes and you still insist that you're not saying anything is equally a statement. We'll put it down. You are not saying anything. And you append to it.
All right, CP, definitely we're going to have you back on some other conversation. Let's allow you settle in. This is a very controversial issue. In our books, from what we see, a minor is involved. Your books, you say, is an adult, so it's neither here nor there.
No, that is not the issue. So a minor is not, there's criminal liability.
I understand.
That's what I want you
CP,
to
I understand
take away from the mind of the
yes,
people.
I understand what criminal liability is. From 7. I understand all of that in the law. I'm saying whether I committed a crime or not, there is a procedure. And
for
from
which
what
you should follow.
But
what you have in public place is like a minor, if a minor commits an offense,
no,
a minor should be allowed to go.
We're just investigating how this boy was treated. Why was he detained beyond time? How did you confirm his age? Why is he put in adult prison? All of those issues.
Those are left for the correctional service to be able to answer, and not left for not the police. Not the police.
Anyway. Moshood Jimo, Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, we must thank you for coming, and we hope we can have this interaction as many times as possible for the good of Lagos.
Definitely. Anytime you want me, I'll be here for you.
You have made that promise. I'll hold you to it, Commissioner.
There's no problem. Thank you so much, and thank you, Nigerians.
All right. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll switch gears to another conversation. We'll head to what has been happening in terms of the security situation of our country, especially Benue and Plateau. But today we'll be talking to somebody from the government in Benue State as to what has played out in the last few days. Join us again.